Ooh, too much lemon. Ooh, hello, beautiful people. If you're new here, my name is Jo. If you're not new here, welcome back to my channel. It's great to see you all here today. So today we are going to be taking some of my favorite books that I have read this year, and I am going to decide whether I want to reread them, rewrite them, or burn them. So I saw Jess from Honest Fiction do this video. I will have her channel linked down below, as well as the 2 videos that she's done. She did one specifically for fantasy romance and one specifically for contemporary romance. So if you haven't checked out her channel yet, definitely do. I love her channel, obviously, because I literally stole this video from it. So I am not specifically going to do one of these for fantasy romance and contemporary romance. I have kind of combined them both into this video because for some reason I had a little bit of trouble deciding on 12. So I have 12 of my favorite fantasy romance. There are some alien romances in here, and there are a couple contemporaries and one graphic novel within this beautiful High Lady of the Night Court mug. We're gonna hope that Daddy Reese gives us some good vibes because I am not looking forward to having to burn some of my favorite books. So I'm gonna pick 3 of these out of this little cup here, and we are going to see. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. Okay, let's see what the first one is. This is so exciting. Oh no. Okay, so we have Wolf Gone Wild by Juliet Cross. We have Pestilence by Laura Thalassa. And yeah, okay, we're just gonna get them all out of the way. We have Electric Idol by Katie Roberts. Okay, I don't want to burn any of these. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what these books are about before I unfortunately have to set one on fire. So Pestilence is the first book in the 4 Horsemen series by Laura Thalassa. This series is a kind of post-apocalyptic world in which humans have pretty much been deemed unworthy, irredeemable. So the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse have come down to kind of kill all the humans, destroy the planet, and start anew. This first one is following Pestilence, the first of the 4 Horsemen to come to Earth, and a woman named Sarah who shoots Pestilence off of his horse. Wolf Gone Wild is the first book in the Stay a Spell series by Juliet Cross. This is one of my favorites. This series is following the Savoy sisters, who are witches in New Orleans. This first one is following Evie Savoy, who is a curse breaker, hex breaker, and Mateo, who has a hex or curse, I can't remember the terminology, put on him to where he cannot shift into his werewolf, and it's slowly driving him insane. This one has a lot of nerd, geek aspects. There's Marvel, there's DC, there's comics, there's delicious and then we have Electric Idol by Katie Roberts. This is the second book in her Dark Olympus series. This one is following Psyche and Eros, and when Psyche and Eros are kind of caught in a precarious situation, they weren't doing anything wrong, but there was a picture taken of them. Aphrodite, Eros's mother, has decided that she wants Eros, who is pretty much her knife. He is pretty much the judge, jury, and executioner for Aphrodite. He follows her every order. Aphrodite has decided that Psyche must die. This is pretty much a marriage of convenience, marriage for protection type of situation with a plus-size main character. I loved it so much. Frick! Okay, I have no idea what I want to do with this. Okay, so I think I am going to reread Wolf Gone Wild. There's just something about this story that just connects with me so much, probably because of all the nerd things. I am a huge nerd myself. I love DC, I love Marvel, I love comics, I love Star Wars. It's all in here. I just love Evie and Mateo's love story so much, and I just connect so much with it. So I'm gonna reread this one. I think I'm going to rewrite Pestilence, because there are a couple of times where I felt like the story was going a little bit slow for my taste. I would probably add a couple of sprinkles of some, some spices in there, just a couple more, just to, even out the palate. But that would mean that I have to burn Electric Idol by Katie Roberts, which pains me. It pains me to say. The one thing that I didn't really like about this story was the resolution of the conflict. I'm gonna have to burn it. I'm gonna have to burn it, babe. Next round. 1, 2, 3. Okay, what do we have? I don't know why I'm excited about this. This is not exciting. We have Broken by the Horde King by Zoe Draven. It's my favorite of the Horde Kings of Dakar series. If you haven't read that series, you should. It's a alien romance, but the guys are pretty humanoid, so if you're weird about that. Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. This is a recent read for me, so it is fresh in my mind. And we have The Awakening by Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. Broken by the Horde King is the fourth book in the Horde Kings of Dakar series by Zoe Draven. This is a second chance, lover scorned as a child type of situation between Maeva and Kieran. I don't want to burn it. I don't want to burn it, that's for sure. Zodiac Academy, The Awakening by Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. This book is following Tori and Darcy Vega as they have just recently turned 18. They are pretty much orphans, and their foster parent, as they have turned 18, kicks them out of the house. They're just trying to survive when a man named Orion breaks into their apartment and tells them that they are pretty much lost princesses of the Fae, and they must go to Zodiac Academy to hone their power and perhaps lay claim to the Fae throne. Delilah Green Doesn't Care is following Delilah Green, obviously, who has to travel back to her small hometown in order to be the photographer for her estranged stepsister's wedding. She plans on getting in, taking the photos, and just being done and leaving, but that doesn't happen. She meets Claire Sutherland. Claire is actually one of Delilah's stepsister's best friends, who Delilah doesn't really remember being very nice to her. I think I really, even though I just read it, I think I really want to reread Delilah Green Doesn't Care. It's marketed as a rom-com, but there are a lot of undertones of the desire to belong and the desire to fit in. It's just such a beautiful story and such a beautiful journey that these women go on. Claire is actually a single mother, and she's having some issues with the father of her daughter. Her daughter plays a really big role in this, and there is some conversation about introducing a new significant other to your children. I just found this story to be so beautiful, and even though it was very, very humorous and I laughed out loud so many different times, there is also that deep undertone of belonging and the desire to belong that I just really connected with. Okay, I see, from here I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. I think I'm gonna rewrite Zodiac Academy, and it may just be because it's in front of me and it's looking at me like, you better not burn me, bitch. Since it is marketed as a bully romance, I probably would have upped the bullying factor a little bit. You can tell within the narrative that the authors want you to kind of dislike the heirs, the bullies, in this first book, but I really liked them from the get-go. So that means that I'm gonna have to burn Broken by the Horde King, which of course I am not happy about, but it has been a while since I read it, and I do remember wanting the progression of the relationship, the kind of second chance aspect of it, the forgiveness of the past, things like that, to go along a little bit quicker. So yeah, I'm gonna burn it. I'm gonna burn it, babe. I'm gonna burn it. All right, round 3. 1. What am I doing? It's stuck. 2. And 3. So we have The Longing of Lone Wolves by Lana P. We have Snow by Sophie Lark. And we have Deceived by the Gargoyles by Lillian Lark. I know exactly what I'm going to do with this one. Okay, I don't own any of these, so I have nothing to hold up. So you're going to see some pretty pictures. I am going to reread Deceived by the Gargoyles. I absolutely love this. This is following a witch who is really wanting to make her own family. She has some familial issues. She's never really felt that kind of comfort, so she wants to build her own family. And she's not been very lucky at meeting guys who are not assholes. So she goes and sees this magical matchmaker, and she gets matched up with a gargoyle who, unbeknownst to her, already has 2 mates who have no idea that their third has gone in search of a fourth. I am going to rewrite Snow by Sophie Lark. I'm gonna make it longer. Because I absolutely freaking loved Snow, and I just want more from him. I want more Snow action. I absolutely loved Snow as a character. Snow is a boxer. The Longing of Lone Wolves, I'm gonna burn. I really, really, really like the series. It's a lot of fun. It's a post-apocalyptic kind of situation in which there was a nuclear disaster, and the beings that survived this nuclear disaster have evolved within the last 2,000 years and have become Fae. The main women of this series are waking up in this time very confused because they were previously, you know, holding cell phones and stuff like that. And then the nuclear disaster happened and now they're waking up 2,000 years later. It's a really good series. It's a lot of fun, but I'm gonna have to burn it. I'm gonna have to burn it. I'm gonna have to burn it. It hurts my heart. Okay, so that brings us to the last three, which I've already gotten out of here. Okay, so yeah, Manacled by Sin-Lin Yu. It's back there. Mwah, love you, babe. So let's see who my baby is up against. The Takeover by T.L. Swan, of course. And who is our Lore Olympus, frick! Okay, Manacled is a fan fiction written by Sin-Lin Yu. It is available on AO3, Archive of Our Own, for free if you want to go read it. This is my bound copy. I hand bound it myself. She's a honker. She's beautiful. I love her to death. So this is a Dramione fan fiction, Draco and Hermione, and in this world, Harry and the gang have lost the war against Voldemort, and this is set a couple years after that when all of our people that we know and love have died, and Hermione has been imprisoned underneath Hogwarts. So at the beginning of this story, Voldemort has decided to implement a Handmaid's Tale type situation because the pure blood wizards are having some issues having children. So Hermione Granger is given to Draco Malfoy and his wife as a sex slave slash concubine slash incubator of sorts. It is dark. It is brilliant. It is harrowing. It is going to hurt your heart like no other. It is going to rebuild it and put it back together. It is lovely. It is one of the most beautiful stories that I've ever read. It's not getting burned, babe. It's not getting burned. Lore Olympus is a Hades and Persephone retelling. At the beginning of this story, Persephone has finally been allowed to leave the human realm because her mom is very protective and a little bit crazy. She's finally been allowed to leave the human realm in order to attend college in Olympus. Hades sees her at a party one night and says she puts Aphrodite to shame. Obviously, Aphrodite is not happy about this, and they pretty much drug Persephone and put her in Hades' car to hopefully embarrass Persephone, but that doesn't happen. Of course, that doesn't happen. The Takeover is following Claire Anderson, who is a widow with 3 children, and for the past couple of years since her husband passed, she has been trying to keep his entertainment business, his media business afloat, and it is unfortunately going under. Tristan Miles is a shark in the media industry, and his job is to go around and kind of absorb these smaller media companies. So at the beginning, obviously, Claire and Tristan do not like each other. Claire pretty much says, F off, I'm not selling you my business. Tristan says, I am intrigued. And then months later, Claire decides to attend a conference in Paris in which Tristan Miles is surprisingly one of the speakers there. They end up having a kind of weekend type stand. And when they get back, Claire is ready to resume her life as a mom and business owner, but Tristan is not quite ready to let go of her yet. I absolutely love this book. I gave it 5 stars. What the hell am I gonna do? The one obvious choice that I have is I'm going to reread Manacled. I want to reread it anyway. It's my top read of the year. I'm gonna reread it. It's gonna happen. Now from here, I have no idea what I'm gonna do. No, I think I do. I'm gonna rewrite Lore Olympus by Rachel Smith. One thing that does bother me in this series is that there is a scene of rape and sexual assault, but there is not a scene of consensual sex, if that makes sense. So I would probably add in a couple of scenes in which there is some consensual sex and some healing that is happening. From where I've read in the series so far, there is not that happening, and I want to add that in there. We need a little bit of spice. We need to even out the palette, babe. So that unfortunately means that I'm gonna burn The Takeover by T.L. Swan. I'm sorry. The only reason that I choose The Takeover to burn is because I really want to add those spicy, sexy, consensual scenes in Lore Olympus, because I think that that is what the story is really missing. I really don't think that The Takeover is missing anything, but it's also not my top 1 read of the year. So I'm sorry. So that was the reread, rewrite, or burn book challenge. Definitely go and check out Jess's video. Again, I will have that linked down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.